Welcome back to another episode of Trending Interactive Studios. I'm your host, Ben. Today we are doing the movie review for X-Men Apocalypse. So going into this, guys, I didn't have a whole lot of high hopes because the critics were just painting the movie, saying it wasn't very good, which was kind of weird because the few fans that had seen the movie were really liking it, but the critics were painting it. The critics were saying it was terrible, it's the worst X-Men movie yet. That's a quote right from BBC. There are a lot of sites, there are a lot of companies that have just panned this movie. Said that one of the biggest complaints was they packed too much into this movie. So that's something that I heard a couple people saying after the movie, that it was good, but that there was just too much. I'm going to not agree at all. I'm just going to come out and say I don't agree with that. I'm going to say that there was a whole lot in this movie, but it was 2.5 hours long, so that's fine. There's nothing wrong with the movie being 2.5 hours if they're showing you a lot and it's stuff that is worth it. And being a fan of the comics, guys, I can tell you they did a lot more right in this movie than they did wrong. A lot more right. The number one thing that I will say that they did right was the villain, Apocalypse, right up here. He was an absolute badass. He's easily the strongest, most baddest Marvel villain I've ever seen in the movies. I've never seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the MCU, I've never seen a villain as badass as Mr. Apocalypse right here. He was crazy badass, guys. He was tearing things up. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away because this is a spoiler free. So I just want to say, if you want to know what happens, you got to go check out the movie, guys. I love how they told everybody's story, and they told everybody's story, but left enough of the story out for the next movie that's supposed to cover the 90s X-Men. This is the 80s X-Men, or the late 80s X-Men. So now they've set up the 90s X-Men, which is supposed to be the very next movie. Now, the last thing that I'm going to touch on, because this is going to be a very short review, guys. I'm trying to keep this as short and concise so you guys can go see it. My spoiler review will be much longer, but in this spoiler-free version, we're going to keep it nice and short, so you guys don't want to give away too much. Make sure you guys go see the movie. Then you come check out my spoiler review, and then you give me your feedback on what you thought. But the other big thing that I really the big thing that I enjoyed outside of just like the villain being badass was that they really told Magneto really well. Magneto is my favorite Marvel villain in the history of comics. And I loved what they did with Magneto in this movie. It was awesome. You truly got to see the true power of Magneto, of how awesome Magneto can be. So I really enjoyed pretty much everything about the movie. I personally like longer comic book movies so they can tell more of a story. They don't have to feel so rushed. That's a complaint, was that it was so long. Well, folks, with them, this was a true reboot. And that's something we've all begged for. And you can tell with everything that they did, it reset the first 3 movies completely. X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men 3. Which, some people like them as standalones, but overall, as part of the storytelling, we didn't like. Me, my least favorite was X-Men 3, Last Stand. I couldn't stand it. I watch it when I do my Marvel Cinematic Timeline deal, and I watch all of them. But I still wish I didn't have to, but they're there. But this movie resets it. It never happened. So you can go back and watch those 3 movies and enjoy them maybe a little bit more, knowing that, don't worry, this all really didn't happen. This was just more like dream sequence. And no, that's not a spoiler because it's not a dream or anything. It's just you can tell they redo it all. So I thank Marvel. I thank 20th Century Fox for going back and resetting the X-Men universe and start doing it a hell of a lot better. I disagree with any review that pans this movie as being a failure, as being the worst X-Men movie. Bull crap, guys. This movie was easily the best, and Days of Future Past was a damn good movie. But this movie was easily better than Days of Future Past. If you understand any of the X-Men storyline from the 90s cartoon, from the comics, you will love this movie. Get to your theaters now, check it out, and then when you're done with that, I want you to come down and look at my link below here, and you will see the link for my spoiler review of this movie, which I'm going to record immediately after this. So guys, hopefully you'll check it out. Thanks for watching Trending Interactive Studios. I'm your host, Ben. We'll see you next time. Peace, guys.